You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Markeia McCarty and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show.
That's right.
Is that it?
It could be. In all honesty, we don't know. The gals were excited. It's like, what song do we pick for this week for WWE Main Event? And we said Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
And then we heard it and we went, that's probably the song. We don't know.
Unless they're messing with us in the booth.
They could be messing with us in the booth. We never know what's going on in that booth. Shady, underhanded things. I am Scott Narver. Tom the Com Conley couldn't be here tonight. He had some business that pulled him away last minute. But instead, we've got me hosting, and we've got the beautiful divas of Main Event here with us. Markeia McCarty, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm great. You know, as one of the beautiful divas of WWE Main Event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here at AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
Christian Rosenberg's no diva. He acts like one. He acts like one, but he's no diva.
I don't know. He's always so nicely dressed.
With those rosy cheeks.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle Loren, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great because I was the lucky one that did not get kidnapped by the Wyatts.
Mm-hmm.
It was Tom this week.
It was Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been tweeting out some nasty stuff about the Wyatts, and so they decided to abduct him last minute.
Which is interesting because, you know, he's against Cena, they're against Cena. You would think they'd, you know, peas in a pod.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anybody growing a certain type of beard.
You know, just a completely change of subject. Nice beard, Scott.
Thanks.
Yeah, very
Thank
nicely
ya.
grown in, like, you know, men do.
Try over years. This is 3 years of growth right here. 3 years.
Wow.
No, you looked in shock like I was telling you the truth. I think it's been months. It's just only months.
Well,
Guys
it's
are so
very
lucky.
It's very full. It's like
thank you.
Abraham Lincoln full.
Yeah, it is.
That means I'm going to be shot by the end of the show. So, WWE Main Event tonight, it was Dean Ambrose kicking off the show, made his way to the ring, and had a lot to say. This was shaking hands and kissing babies night, by the way. He wasn't the only one that mentioned it. It came up a little bit later in the show. But he said he was in a foul mood. He says shaking hands and kissing babies is not his strong suit. Just going off on a tangent of he's got to keep the authority away from him, and let's get Rollins down here and let's just fight it out right now. No time being wasted. And then turns out he doesn't get Rollins. He gets Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, I like the part where he just he sits in the ring like, "Come on, Rollins. Come on out. Let's do this right now. I'm ready." "Oh, okay. Guess not." "That's what I thought." And then here comes Alberto Del Rio, like, "Oh, who are you calling just one of the authority or someone to be thrown in your way?" "I'm Alberto Del Rio." Mm-hmm. "Yeah, I am a monster."
Yeah, and things get heated right from there. In the world of wrestling, you tend to forget things quickly of what your goal is, and then the second someone else shows up in front of your face, then you're immediately mad at that person, and then have to fight him before the night is done. And Ambrose is all taped up. He's still got shoulder injuries. He's all war-torn, and then Alberto Del Rio goes right after him, goes right after the shoulders, starts kicking him, and it starts off with a bang. What did you guys think of this?
I loved this because you would think Rollins would pop out of the curtains, but no. We got surprised with Alberto Del Rio, and he gave him a little cheap shot. But on Dean Ambrose's rant, what I appreciated was some of the lines that he said where he was like, you know, "Rollins, stop eating those protein bars with Triple H backstage," or whatever it is you guys do. I thought that was hysterical. And then, you know, he's trying to make him pretty much pay the price for selling out, which I get. He's upset still. He's not going to be happy until he gets what he wants out of the picture. So, I mean, he'd look like he was weak if he didn't kind of retaliate, you know, in a sense. which that's what I wanted to get at, actually. His song is Retaliation, and it's new, and I thought that was so ironic because he's looking for retaliation.
Did they show that on the show, or
Yeah,
did you,
yeah,
did
yeah,
you buy
they
it on
had it.
iTunes?
I did not buy it, but I was tempted. They did a little lower third graphic that said, iTunes Retaliation when he came out, and I was like, that is so telling of the situation.
If there hadn't been the Tyson kid tonight, then that would have been the song.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Something else that I like about Dean Ambrose. Well, for this whole intro thing, I enjoyed it. I didn't really enjoy Del Rio's little kick that he did to the shoulder. It kind of seemed, half-hearted to me.
It was.
You
It was a
know?
little off.
Yeah. I mean, just go ahead and put some power behind it.
Yeah.
Because we know he's not really, it's not really super hurt.
Right, because he's crazy. It's the other shoulder. He's trying to throw him off. I get you. I
Right,
get you.
right.
That
You
would
know?
be smart.
Dean
would
thinks
be
that
smart.
way. Yeah, he is kind of like a berserker type. I mean, the angrier he gets, the closer his health goes down to zero, the more powerful he gets. So, yeah, go ahead and put that full power behind there.
Yeah, kick the man. And then, of course, he did the cross arm breaker as well to try and put him away, but it wasn't a match yet. And then these segments I always find fun, and I like it when they shake it up from time to time, that it's not always the open challenge and then someone else comes out and that happens. But it was fun tonight because Ambrose is great. He's wild. He's that sort of personality where you can't take your eyes off him. You really got to see what's happening next. Alberto Del Rio's not that same energy, but
it's
he's fun
different.
nonetheless. Did you give a rating to this segment? This
For
opening
the
segment?
intro, no, I didn't. But I guess off the top of my head, I felt like it was decently solid. There wasn't there was skirmishing. There was chemistry between the two of them. I'd give it a solid 3. If there had been more power behind that kick, more I'm gonna go at you, but not right now, it would have gotten a 3.25.
Okay. All right. Gabby?
I gave it a 3.5. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Always appreciate when there's, a little bit of laughs during the beginning, and then it gets all serious and intense. And it was a nice surprise to see Alberto Del Rio. I think he's also another, big player, great guy, and it was nice to see him kind of challenge Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. I enjoyed it as well. I would give it 66 bandages. It set the tone for the night, and it gave us something to look forward to.
No, let's be specific here. You said 66, right?
Yeah, 66.
66 bandages for the arm, the injured arm.
No, just unused bandages.
Unused bandages.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Then we are taken to highlights of Cena's promo from Raw the previous night. This feud is escalating. Brock Lesnar, John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and the entire promo that was shown on Raw between Paul Heyman and John Cena really culminated. That's the treat of seeing that entire promo in full, but still the package that they show of how fired up John Cena can get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fans have problems when Cena jokes around a lot and is more cartoony, but he can flip this on like a switch and just get that intensity and really get you invested in it. And I thought he did a great job. I mean, what did you guys think?
I mean, genuinely angry. He was like having an out-of-body experience there. I've never seen him act like that in my year of wrestling watching. But
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. It's coming up, I think, August or September, actually.
Oh, yeah, I guess
That's
so.
when I started with you guys.
Ah.
But literally insane how angry he got, and I loved it. It made me appreciate John Cena to a whole nother level.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts was, I may be beat, but you're going to have to beat every breath out of this body. It was like, whoa, never give up, never surrender. It was
A little
fabulous.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. Thank you for knowing that, Scott. Nerd. But yeah, that's on both of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. I love seeing wrestlers get impassioned and fired up because this is such a passionate sport. I mean, it has so many different sides to it. It's technical. It's you have to have this character, and then even you have to have that character in public because otherwise, fans would be kind of let down if you're Kane in the ring and then outside you're a really great guy.
Yeah.
It's multifaceted. It's amazing. So just to see that culmination of all this emotion come out of all people, Cena. Like, this is the most fired up that I've ever seen him.
Right?
Like, the only other time that came even close was when he told Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, to go stuff themselves when they showed the cover, the new cover of the game. Was it Y2K15 or something?
Y2K?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm confusing. I'm confusing all my initials.
WWE 2K15.
Thank you. 2K15. So yeah, I mean that was a touch of it there, but this was just full out level 11 stuff, and I enjoyed it.
I think it's one of the best performances anyone's probably ever seen.
Out of Cena.
Yeah, and even if you compare it to any other industry, like this guy's got it going on. Like take Miz out of these ABC Family movies and throw Cena in because Cena's got it going. Like he could totally do more acting and stuff.
He's got a fair amount of movies on Netflix right now.
But like, is it associated with WWE?
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he could do what like The Rock's doing and what Hulk did. I feel like, he's definitely able to go down that path.
Hopefully, he doesn't do the movies that Hulk did. Hulk had some stinkers.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that they were amazing, but I'm saying get into Hollywood more, get out there because I think he's completely capable.
Well, and to that point, he's really good at it. I think he is capable too. The thing is, he's still in wrestling so deep. And that's why this promo came out, that he loves it this much. He will be there. This match, everyone knows, as they are building it, is they're going to get their asses kicked. They are going to beat each other up. In their previous matches, mentioned on this show before, that if you have the network, check them out. Royal Rumble 2002, 2003, Extreme Rules from 2 years ago, I believe. And they don't have that style of... They don't have those moments with Alberto Del Rio and Dean Ambrose where the kick kind of misses. It's how hard did they hit each other.
Right.
They really go to town on each other. And they bring the best out of each other. And then with Paul Heyman in the mix, their story gets built up. There's that much more energy and there's that much more realism where you get sucked into it. So it's really exciting.
But it's like, who doesn't get mad at Paul Heyman?
Isn't he
I mean,
great?
come on.
Oh, he's a fantastic weasel. I love him.
Weasel, that's a great word to describe him.
Yeah.
And then we move from there to the Usos walking towards the ring, and they are going to be in action. And we see Xavier Woods.
I think I'm going to cut you off because here is where you forgot. Oh, no, you didn't forget. Just kidding. You
You're
gave
on
me
point, though.
Yeah, you gave me instructions to cut you off if there was something else that we missed, but I thought
Tom doesn't miss a point. Tom doesn't miss a thing. I miss tons of stuff.
It's coming up.
I didn't know the name of the song. Retaliation.
I pay attention to the details. You guys pay attention to the actual moves and everything.
I'll just give my opinion on everything and liken it to other things in my life, like video games. No problem.
And we see Xavier Woods at the announce table with headset on, and we see Kofi and Big E strategizing, talking to one another, standing, watching the ongoings of the match we are about to talk about. We have a non-title match, the World Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus Ryback. So last week we had it was Ryback versus one of the Usos. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell.
I believe it was Jay.
Yeah, I mean, how
think
are
it was
you?
Jay.
No, it's impossible to know
No, it
these
had to be
things.
Jay because Jay's the shorter one, but he's really attractive in his face.
Oh.
Ooh.
I make this up every week, guys.
They're both
every
the
week.
same.
Which one's more attractive? Which of the Usos? Put it out there.
Jay, who's the shorter one.
Is that right?
It's probably Jimmy, who's the shorter one. They weren't standing next to each other this time, so I couldn't. Well, actually, no, they were all the way down the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jimmy started and Jay finished. I know that much.
So we had the action going on in the ring, which seemingly wasn't the focal point for quite a bit of the match.
Right?
The focal point was Xavier Woods.
Yeah, I really enjoy this, this snazzy look that they have going on. And is it just me, or did it kind of seem like that was a fact-finding mission for them, like almost a scouting mission? Do they have a name yet? They don't have a name.
They
that
don't.
Team.
They were kind of teasing that what is your name? Like, it's coming.
Right.
That all this will be answered in due time.
Yeah, but it's like they were standing there, like it was either on the one hand, like, how talent scouts do for like sporting events when they'll sit and they'll be like, okay, that's the move that they do and like that. But on the other hand, it was like they want to be the tag team champions, so they're going to come out here right next to the ring, and there's kind of the intimidation factor for it, but it's also they're collecting information and looking good while they did. I like the black and silver that they chose. I was thinking they would go with like maybe a purple or a gold, but that's kind of garish, and yes, it's like royalty colors, but it was nice and cool and sharp to me.
Wasn't Kofi wearing a sweatshirt?
No, it was the material of it. I mean, it had a hood on it. It wasn't as in the dressed up sense as Big E was. Yeah, but it was still dressed up, especially for Kofi, who normally doesn't wear a shirt.
I was wondering about that because I was thinking he looked very casual and everybody else looked dressed up. However, they did have the same color theme going. So he essentially fit in, but it was also kind of odd. And then I thought it was strange that the two of them were standing outside, the commentator area while Xavier was talking the whole time. But now I kind of get what you're trying to say, how they were kind of analyzing, getting their game together, which is smart on their behalf. I never looked at it that way, so I guess I can appreciate it more.
They didn't interfere.
They didn't interfere.
Not once.
But don't you think it's weird that Xavier on the mic was like so aggressive with Byron?
I enjoyed that. That he was soft-spoken yet really aggressive. It wasn't yelling. It wasn't...
it was more assertive, I guess I should say.
It wasn't like boisterous or loud. It was to the point.
I really enjoyed... Xavier Woods told a really great story throughout this match that the story seemingly wasn't there for a lot of it. That the point in which this match really picked up was when Ryback went to the top rope and went for a diving elbow off the top rope, which was crazy to see as it was, that he's getting up on the top rope and then from there leaps all the way to the ground and misses an elbow. To which Xavier drives the point home that he had been talking about through the entire match of, we are smart men. I'm going for my PhD. Collectively, we are smart men that have played the system for a long time, have been pandering to these fans, and received nothing for it. So now we're going to step up our game. We are smarter, and we are going to do things differently. What Ryback did was not smart. He is not a smart man.
I remember him saying like along those terms, and it was just like, the way that I heard it when he was saying it was that it was like Ryback needed a good coach. Ryback needed a voice to tell him and to coach him, and that with him and Big E and Kingston, they have that with each other. So, and when you think about it, I mean, the tag team that Big E and Kofi have started being, where they're actually utilizing moves together. I mean, outside of the Usos, and then later on when we saw Tyson Kidd and Ryder do it, most tag teams, they just seem like single players that have each strength, and then tag out when it's like, okay, I'm getting worn down, hot tag in. While with them, it's like they're doing these great moves together, and those moves should have names. That's how great it is, just like the Usos do. So the fact that they were standing outside of the ring, then I'm like really excited about what they're going to bring just from watching what the Usos were doing.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of building that unit. Building that unit of what they're going to do, who they're going to be, what these names are, and everything that's going to come about. And so they're talking about how they're smarter than them, how Ryback's not a collective team, clearly acknowledging that the Usos are, and to which that brings about the end of the match with one of the Usos getting the splash onto Curtis Axel, getting the win. They removed Ryback from the picture. It was kind of what we speculated last week in the singles match, that you have to get Ryback out of there, and then Axel's the one that is the beatable element of the two.
He is.
And then yeah, that closed it out, and we got the story of this faction that we don't yet know their name. We saw the Usos get a win, and we saw Ryback take a defeat. Gabby, what did you give this match?
I gave it a 4.0. It was kind of high, actually. I'm confused looking back on it while I gave it such a high score. But I guess I was really into it, and I love the Usos, but I also like the Ryback tag team. I think they're so strong, and they really complement each other. They're really good when they work together. So I was impressed.
You really see something in Ryback.
Yeah.
Like you're a big champion of them.
Yeah, because I think that they just are very skilled and they work well together. Like not every tag team is like on the same page and same level, and I think these two are. You know, there's always usually a weak one and then a strong one, or vice versa. But I think they're pretty much they're good. They're good for each other.
All right.
Yeah.
Markeia, what did you give this?
I wasn't really taken with the match itself. It only really heated up in the like later, maybe third of the entire match. And that's when, you had Jimmy and Jay utilizing those, tag team aspects. When Jimmy flew out of the, literally flew out of the ring onto Ryback. And then you had Jay, because Jay was the one that,
You have the powers of telling them apart.
Jay taking down Axel. And, before that, it just kind of seemed, it was a good match. Wasn't a great match for me. The part of it that was super interesting though was Xavier Woods and having Kofi and Big E standing on the side and just like this commentary that was happening, and that was like the lion's share of the match. And I understood what they were doing, putting forth this new team element and even kind of giving you a teaser with it of saying, hey, the Usos and how great they are, and now there's going to be this team and this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed that. But as for the match itself, I'm not a Ryback fan. I'm just not. I think Ryback needs to be on his own. Or we're going to disagree about things. I think Ryback needs to.
Gabby just takes it so calm with you, but with Tom, throwing fire.
It's true. I like Markeia.
as opposed to you and Tom.
Understood.
Yeah, it's just Ryback. I kind of want to see him with somebody else now, or maybe on his own, but I don't feel like he has enough story behind him right now to be able to do that. But he's a total monster, and he needs to be with a partner that would complement the things that he can't do. Like he shouldn't be climbing up to the top ring to try to wear down Jay or Jimmy because his partner hasn't worn him down enough. He shouldn't have to do that. That other partner, that high flyer, should be doing things like that, not him. He needs to stick to his stuff that he's good at.
His ground game.
Exactly. And everything like that. So I ended up giving, at first I gave the match a 2.75. But then, adding in the Xavier Woods and the promise of this other team going up against Usos, I raised that to 3.25 for the match.
I enjoyed it for what it was. As you guys pointed out, it wasn't the match that was the focal point. It really was showcasing Xavier and Big E and Kofi. Seeing Ryback just jump off the top rope is amazing. If you go back and watch this, you definitely need to see that moment because you might not see it again.
For his sake, I hope not.
Yeah, and the Usos are, of course, always impressive, always doing crazy maneuvers. But it's a really good building block for the story of that faction to see it begin there. So I gave it 1 silver bucket of paint. We go to commercial, and then we see a video of Slater Gator.
Slater Gator.
Oh, I love Slater Gator. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
People seem to be liking it.
Because it's such a fun dynamic that the way that they play it off, where Titus like, no, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, buddy.
I think I just relate to Titus getting annoyed because I'm annoyed with how annoying he is. So that's why I feel like I don't like it. Otherwise, I'd probably appreciate it more. But
so you're a Gator. And Markeia, you're Slater?
Because I'm over here.
Well, just because you're into it. You're like
Slater,
all for the goofiness. It doesn't bother you.
I think it's hilarious, and I love that they have this dynamic that they can play. I mean, it's so fun for me.
We see in the video that they're talking, and Slater, with his enthusiasm, is whipping his hair and then whips it into Titus's face and mouth, which upsets him greatly, and shoves him out of the way and saying that they're going to get it done, but Titus still just doesn't want to be Heath's tag partner. It's a match that they come out first, wondering who the opponents are. As mentioned, Zack Ryder and Tyson Kidd, which is great. This is the stuff I love to see. We already had Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil put together to see if anything could happen. They made something happen the first week they were put together, and now we have Zack Ryder and Tyson Kidd being used, which is great. You have guys in the back. They're not doing anything. They're not on the other shows. Put them out there. Put them together. See if the crowd digs it.
Yeah, see what happens.
And they had good chemistry.
They did, right?
Yeah, they had fun together. They did some fun stuff, and the crowd wasn't going crazy for this. It wasn't like a Uso reaction, but they were watching. They didn't get up and leave, and it's another building block for something potentially. So there was a lot of mind games being played throughout it. Tyson Kidd had this great moment where he's thrown into the ropes by Heath Slater.
Yeah, his Spider-Man moment.
And managed
That's
to...
what I called it.
Good call.
It's a great call, because he... As opposed to the Rey Mysterio 619, where he would launch himself into the top and middle rope and then rotate through it and then kick his opponent, Tyson Kidd just manages to stay there. He just launches himself in and stays there, and Heath looks confused, tries to get him, falls through the ropes. There was another great moment where, what was it? I think it was an arm drag or a bulldog that Tyson Kidd gives to Zack Ryder, or I'm sorry, to Heath Slater, and the way that Heath had fallen to his face and then just collapsed was a great moment. A lot of really fun, hilarious moments in this match. Surprisingly, after the Broski boot connects onto Titus, Tyson gets a corner dropkick on Slater. There's a kick out. Titus throws Zack into the barricade. Heath runs in and a second rope scoop power slam onto Tyson Kidd, or it's off the top rope, and then scores a pinfall in a very fantastic fashion. And Slater Gator picks up their first win.
Yeah.
Week 2. And they celebrate, and which again doesn't quite go well, because Titus is happy, but then Slater jumps in front of him, getting more excited, and he gets annoyed. And the tag team division is building.
Yeah.
Markeia, what'd you think? What'd you give this match?
I enjoyed this match. I mean, I very much enjoyed what Ryder and Kidd were bringing into the ring. I mean, I even liked it. So they haven't tag teamed together before? In recent memory? Or
no,
anything
not
like
that I recall. No.
Well, I enjoyed it, and they even did some moves together, like... It's just that these are respected athletes, and they have, a tool set that each one of them can just go ahead and be like, hey, do this. All right, I have this. And I loved it. I thought that it was a good match with Slater Gator. Some of my favorite moments was when Slater was upside down in the corner post, and I believe it was Kidd that was just working him over, like when he was upside down. And then another favorite was when Titus was trying to get, I think it was Ryder, off of Slater, he was stopping him from getting back into the ring. So then they kind of did this whole spin out of control, like out of the camera range. I thought that was great. It was fun. The underdogs won. I kind of don't believe they deserved the win because Kidd and Ryder were so much stronger. They were working better together as a team. But, you got to give Slater Gator something. Gotta give them something. I want to see more Slater Gator. I want it to get to the point where Titus, begrudgingly starts doing moves with Slater, and maybe they come up with a finisher with the two of them together, the Slater Gator Smash or something. Slater will have something.
See you later, Slater Gator.
Perfect. Sure. But in any case, I want to see more Slater Gator. And I want Titus to eventually hug Slater. I want that.
You're looking for a hug and all this?
Like, this would be way later.
He just
Okay.
breaks
Way
down,
later.
starts crying.
He's like, all right, man. All right. Slater Gator. He's like, Slater Gator! So in any case, because it's a rising future for Slater Gator, but not necessarily the greatest match, and I still don't believe they very much deserve the win, it's a solid 3 for me.
Okay. Gabby, what did you think? Has Slater Gator finally won you over this week?
Going off what Markeia said, I don't think it was a deserved win, but I predict that the WWE is going to go in this direction so that more people accept the group as a new tag team. However, I really love Tyson Kidd and Zack Ryder working together. Some of the moves you mentioned were some of the standout points tonight, especially that one where he wrapped himself in the ropes. Very impressive. Just to even have that kind of balance to just get in there, stop yourself, wrap your legs around, and then come out of that. It was really impressive. Also, I really enjoyed Tyson Kidd's entrance to the ring because he just kind of like from the outside jumped up onto the top rope and jumped into the ring.
Yeah, that's really impressive
That
stuff.
was
Yeah.
really
Very cool.
And then before all this, I kind of skipped over a bunch of things, but when you kind of had Slater Gator on the screen before they came out to fight, pretty much Slater was saying to Titus, bring that attitude tonight and we got this. Which is true. He's like using his anger, Titus, in the situation to kind of make the match go in their favor. It's I think it was great advice, Slater, so I'm with you on that one. Because if you use your emotion, like, it's ultimately going to get you the win or at least help you to push through that ring. Because otherwise it's just dull. But yeah, I gave it a 3.9, and yeah, I think eventually Slater's gonna win Titus over.
I think
They're
it
gonna
has to
become
happen.
friends. I don't know if they're gonna hug. I mean, maybe they will. I think it would be funny if they hug and kiss and cry and do all this
Kiss?
smoochy stuff. Yeah, wouldn't it be cute? This like big strong guy like breaking down and
Be like, you're my brother, man. You're my brother.
exactly. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. I really like any wrestling show that has a variety show feel, and this show on this main event definitely had the variety show feel. We had the very serious opening, and then we had this storyline of this new team coming up, a threat, and then we had comedy. We just flat out had funny stuff, and then some impressive gymnastics and aerial moves as well amongst Tyson Kidd and Heath Slater at the finish, and some power with Titus. A bummer moment was when Heath Slater got the pinfall and his music played, which is still the 3-man band music. So we're a 3-man band. It's like, no,
he needs new music.
you guys aren't. There is no band. I missed the band. So it got me bummed out because I missed the band all over again when I'm supposed to be enjoying Slater Gator. So we need some music for these guys. Slater Gator needs a song. I think that's the next step for them. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 111 worldwide rock tours. Then we go
Wait.
to... Oh, yes.
You did skip something.
I did?
Before this match was the Brie versus Steph recap again.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, was that before that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I read
Oh,
it
you're right.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Missed it over in my notes. So, yeah. Oh, back in time. Back in time. We are... this... I don't know if you guys know this. This closed out Raw.
I could see how it would. I mean, this was amazing to me.
Yeah.
I want this so badly.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Someone
to see
predicted it
this.
on our show.
I
Remember?
guess. Yeah.
Weren't
it
we
sounds,
talking
it
about
sounds
it? And we're
familiar.
like, that would be awesome if like Steph fought Brie at SummerSlam. I know one of you guys
I
said
can't
it.
remember who did, but
Yeah, that's
it's...
probably me. It was probably me. Well, Tom, if it was you, feel free to say something.
I guess not.
Well, I guess not. I
Well,
guess
maybe it was one of us. Sounds like something we'd say.
Well, if you're not taking credit for it, I'll gladly take credit for it. Yes, this story has become so big. This feud has become so big. It's great for the women's division, the Divas division, that this was the main event of Raw. Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella. They had a showdown.
Man.
And that it's Stephanie should know at this point. It's been about a year for her that you both have been around.
Yeah.
That she's getting in a lot of legal trouble with harassing employees when it came to the Rhodes family and Dusty and having Big Show punch him out around a year ago.
Man.
And then now slapping Brie and firing her and not expecting any repercussions. Well, Brie asked for a match, and Stephanie was happy to oblige and saying, sure, what, the Divas title? Is that what you want? You got it. No problem. She said no.
No.
She wanted a match with Stephanie at SummerSlam. And the crowd erupted. The crowd wants it just as bad. And Stephanie was trying to cry her way out of it and just playing another emotional card and playing some mind games. And then the tides turned, and she slapped Brie right out of the ring.
Again. Oh, my goodness.
That was fantastic. I don't think she was trying to cry her way out of it. I think it was doing that to lower Brie's guard, because I think that slap was happening no matter what, because she's Stephanie McMahon.
True. Good point.
Yeah, because it just seemed a little too fake, where she's like, oh, well, I guess if that's what you boom.
Yeah, and it didn't end there. It wasn't just her towering in the ring as it was, then the credits come and, that's it. That's Raw. No, Brie gets back up and then fights, and they have to pull them apart.
Yeah.
Agents coming out, Finley, Mercury, everybody trying to pull these gals apart, and it is a feud. It is on, and this match is happening at SummerSlam.
I think it's fantastic, and I can't wait to see. I don't know who I would choose, because it's like, I think Brie would be super overconfident, because she's like, oh, Stephanie McMahon doesn't do this every week like I do. She doesn't train like I do with my husband and da-da-da-da. And I think, she's going to underestimate her. I think Stephanie's going to pull out all the stops because she wants this. This is the perfect way for her to be able to get back at Bryan. So she's going to take it. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to see this match. And thank goodness I don't have to decide right now who's going to win, because I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one. I love them both for different reasons. Like Markeia, I don't think I could decide yet. But I am very excited for this match, too, because I think it's going to be one of the best of that whole event. And I don't know. I feel like this is almost a prelude to Brie becoming next Divas champ for some reason. But to the same token, Stephanie McMahon, she's probably going to do well, I think, even though she's not in the ring all the time, because it's in her blood, essentially. Her family's the one that created WWE. So there's a very good chance she could be training intensely right now and or she's been doing it for a year. You never know.
Exactly.
To wait for this moment to just wow everybody with damn, she's good.
She's got the roster in her pocket.
Yeah. But wouldn't that be tyranny if she just won and then she was a Divas champ and she is the authority?
Oh, but it's not a title match. It's like a grudge match.
I know it's not, but it would eventually probably lead to that, I would think. That's where she'd be going.
Well, we had that with Triple H at WrestleMania, going for the, trying to stop Daniel Bryan, and if he can't do it, then I'll get in the title match myself, and then I'll make sure that you got to do something, you got to do it yourself.
Man,
so
that would be something else if she beat Brie and then she's like, I'm going after the Diva Championship myself because none of you deserve it. I realize now that I'm the only one that deserves it. And then starts taking out divas one by one.
You're all fired. Do you imagine?
Well, the McMahons have been known to deliver when it comes to pay-per-view matches. Vince has had great matches throughout his career at those specialty matchups. And then, of course, Shane McMahon, Stephanie's brother, has done death-defying matches. And Stephanie has had her share of matches here and there, far lesser, but I think she wouldn't be involved in this if she wasn't going to give it 100%. So I think they're going to pull out a lot of surprises, and it's really exciting at this point. I can't wait to see what they do next. And then that brings us to Orton and Roman Reigns.
All right.
Their feud, and they're going to be on SmackDown this Friday. Orton has a message, the Viper's message.
A message.
Do you think it's to you, Gabby? Is it personalized to you?
You know what? I would love a personalized message from either of those guys.
Oh.
Why not?
You're playing both sides of the coin now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like Orton, but I've been noticing Rollins lately.
Oh.
He's been looking good.
Wait, Rollins or Reigns?
Or actually, sorry. Take Reigns out of the picture.
Anybody with an
Rollins.
R is what I'm noticing.
I know.
Randy,
I meant actually
Reigns,
Seth
Rollins.
Like from Shield?
I meant to
Ryback?
say, Rollins.
Okay.
The one that's actually, I know he's not in this match that you're talking about, but Rollins is looking real good.
Well, he does look much better in his ring gear, his new ring gear.
With the shirt off and the leather pants. I think that's what he's wearing, right?
Yeah, that he
Something like
struts
that.
around in that. That's what he's wearing now.
So those guys are coming to a head too. SummerSlam is packed. I don't know how they're gonna fit all this stuff on there, but it's just getting bigger and bigger. And then we go to Dean Ambrose versus Alberto Del Rio in the main event. Quick side note, interesting thing that happened today. WWE releases have been occurring as of late. Ricardo Rodriguez was released today, formerly Alberto Del Rio's manager in the tuxedo.
Oh.
And when announced his name,
Okay.
he got his release today, so he is not there anymore.
I think I vaguely remember him like during Raw when Del Rio was on there and he would have a guy that came out with him.
Yeah, carry the bucket and announce his
Right.
name and all in Spanish. And then he was, for a while, they were doing Spanish commentary.
Oh, yeah, he'd go to
and
the ring with him.
Yeah, and he would protect the Spanish announce table, which oftentimes got broken. It was his mission that tonight it will not get broken. I'm going to protect it. But unfortunately, he got his release today. So well, hopefully bigger and brighter things for Ricardo Rodriguez.
Good for him. And I wanted to also say that, yes, Roman Reigns, I'm also crushing on. Because I just reminded myself of who he was. And he's gorgeous too.
Is he on
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, no, I don't know if he's on Instagram, but he is these gorgeous eyes, long hair, and
He
nice body.
plays Tea Party with his daughter.
Does he?
He does.
Oh, yeah, that
That's
ad, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Who wouldn't want a guy like that? He's big and strong and then soft at home.
Oh.
Aww.
Well, these guys were not soft in the ring. It was Dean Ambrose versus Alberto Del Rio.
Nice
That's
segue. I
King
love
of
it.
Segues. And these guys went at it. Ambrose is never one to mail things in.
Yeah.
And he just, every time he gets any offense in, he goes on a tirade and attacks Alberto. Alberto, sadly for me, I'm just not big into Alberto Del Rio. Never really have been. I think there's an interesting character there, but as far as in the ring, it's very reminiscent of what that kick was earlier on in the show.
Oh.
That sometimes in those moments you just don't have that drive, that passion, that I'm going to make tonight count just as much as every other night. And so they make great opponents for one another, but there's a lot of submissions. There's a lot of work in the shoulders. We had some chin locks. Dean's putting them in the ropes, and they went at it. But Seth Rollins came out. Seth Rollins interrupted things. The feud
he did.
continues between those two, and they were going crazy for it. The crowd didn't get this match that at Battleground, which everybody was looking forward to, and it's still building. So that's another storied feud that's going to come about at SummerSlam. We hope. Another marquee match, and it goes to a DQ. So there is Dean Ambrose is the winner via DQ, and we didn't get an overall ending to this match as proper as a winner or loser. But Markeia, what did you give this match? What were your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts with it, it's a bit reminiscent of what you were saying with how it didn't feel. I mean, yes, Ambrose, he gives it all. He does. The more he's hit in the head, the harder he tries to hit the person back with his head. So, and I can thoroughly respect that for this crazy Joker character who's basically it's just he fights like this to me because he's so hurt and angry. It's he's the most super and loyal of friends, and then his best friend turned on him and he's like, I'm going to render you asunder. And that's what I'm thinking it is with Dean Ambrose. So it's interesting for his matches, especially with this one with Del Rio, where it's most of the time you see him just getting pummeled, in the submission holds, the choke holds, and everything like that, getting his shoulder worked. And it's just, it fuels the anger. for him. So I like it when that turnaround happens. One of my favorite parts were obviously when Rollins showed up, because then you saw it in his face, you saw it in his eyes, his head whipped around. Alberto Del Rio didn't exist anymore. Not for him. It was all Rollins, and he went after him. And I wish that they had the match between the two of them last pay-per-view. For one, I'm pretty sure Ambrose would have won. And
You're still upset about that predictions title?
oh man, I was so close. So close, and yet 2 matches far, thanks to Naomi and Ambrose. But in any case, and I just loved how even the rest of the world didn't exist anymore. It was him and Rollins, and that intensity. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But yeah, I understand why they didn't have it on the last pay-per-view, because they're going to have it at SummerSlam, and Ambrose will win. I'm not making that prediction right now.
No, of course not.
I have to
That's
see how
not
the
on tape
storylines-
or anything on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV or on iTunes where you can rate and review us 5 stars.
Nice. But for this match, between Del Rio and Ambrose, I felt like there was chemistry, but it didn't feel like an important match. It didn't feel like it was where it could have been. So for it, if Rollins hadn't come out, it would have been a 2.75. But because the Rollins had some more of the storyline, which I very much enjoyed, it became a 3.5.
Okay. Gabby, what did you think of all this?
Well, as you said, Scott, I'm going to agree with you for once.
Whoa!
This was not soft by any means. There were 2 men bleeding in the ring, if you've noticed. There was, I think, Alberto where he had stitches.
Yeah.
On his arm
He
was bleeding.
had 6 stitches.
Yeah, and Ambrose was bleeding in his mouth, by his jaw.
He very well could have done that to himself. He's nuts.
Yeah, well,
You don't think that jaw kick would have done it?
Maybe. Maybe.
it's done the wrong way.
This is a good point. He was bleeding in his mouth.
All right, that's
He was
fair.
talking too much.
That's fair.
Well, also, like the commentators were saying, I totally agree with. They were saying how Alberto kind of needs to wear down the lunatic, because Dean Ambrose looked like a lunatic in this ring. And like you guys have been saying the entire time, he will fight to the end. Like, he's very committed to what he's doing and his mission in that ring. And I appreciate it, because it ultimately gives me a good show and me a good performance. Like, that's what I want to see. So I like his drive and commitment. And what else? It was interesting to see the people rooting for Ambrose, even though he seems like he's like the bad guy for some reason.
Yeah, he's got that darker side to him.
He has a real, to describe him as a lunatic is light. And everyone's rooting for the lunatic. So I thought that was very interesting. Because, you'd think, he is crazy, that not a lot of people would be backing him up. But under certain conditions, I guess it's deemed normal.
Sure.
And, Del Rio, I still like him. I think he's a good wrestler. Do like his character. He seems a little, cocky about himself and who he thinks he is. He talks down to people. It's kind of like how he plays out his role. I don't like, and certain things he does in the ring, like the flexing of his chest muscles, it just makes him look like, kind of douchey, but he plays it well, and I like it. And so, I don't know.
You do like the douchey characters. You find a lot of joy in them.
I like watching them. I don't like
Yes.
being their friends.
Right,
at all.
right.
But
Like
yeah.
The Miz.
The Miz, I
Well, that's
appreciate
fun.
the character. It's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's all in good fun. Never would I ever want to talk to The Miz if he was actually like that in person.
Oh, no.
offense.
Well, no, there's no R in his name, so why would you? He's not a Randy Orton or a Roman Reigns or a Seth Rollins.
Oh, God.
She's
Well,
got a crushing on the R's.
Miz is cute, but he's not exotic looking like those guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, right? They're kind of more exotic. I don't know about Orton. Orton's more like Long Island, New York, meathead looking, but everybody else looks exotic.
Maybe a little Jersey.
Jersey, yeah. He looks Jersey. And John Cena
St.
looks
Louis.
Jersey, too.
I believe he's from St. Louis.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
I'm just, it's in my
get all
head. I don't want to
specific.
know it, but I do.
Yeah, but I did like this match ultimately, and I gave it a 4.0.
Okay. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't the matchup I'd love to see main event this match, this show. I love watching Dean. Dean is really a treat to watch. Always something different. I love that move that he does when he gets knocked to the middle rope and then bounces up and then charges back. That's just something that, you know, for as long as wrestling's been around, I've never seen that. And he does that. And it's just such a simple, creative idea for great offense. And it was exciting when Rollins came down. That, again, this show, main event, is getting that story. We are getting those moments. We are getting that feud built in there. It's not just say for SmackDown and these are just a bunch of matches that mean nothing. You got to watch the show. Main event is just becoming just as important as all the other shows, if not more important than SmackDown, because it's live.
You and SmackDown. You were doing this last week.
I think main event on a week-to-week basis is more exciting and more of a story-driven show than SmackDown is overall. And I'd like to say I think that Xavier Woods should be on commentary every week in a match at least.
Wow.
With his analyzation and driving that story of his faction into the group. I think that'd be a great addition.
I like how they mix it up. I like the different commentators.
Yeah, but I'd love to see them just come out and target every so often, that Xavier Woods wants to come out and then see something and break it down.
But it's almost like, how do you not make main event the main event of the week? I don't know what they were thinking before when they titled the show. If you think
in
about
what regard?
it.
What do you
Well,
mean?
in the sense that it used to not be very
Popular.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's called main event. Like the main event of the show is usually the last match because it's the biggest match. So it's like, why is main event the TV show or like the WWE show not big? Or like, why was it not big then?
Why is it
With
the
this
C show or the
title,
D
yeah.
show? Or, yeah,
Exactly.
It's just weird how they labeled that, but
It is, but it's becoming there. I think it's the B show right now.
Yeah, it's coming up, definitely.
Yeah, it's the Daniel Bryan of shows.
Yes, it is the underdog who's not so much an underdog anymore type of show.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the match for what it was, and I gave it some more bandages. I gave it 12 bandages on the arm.
on the
On the arm.
used
Specifics.
bandages
Yeah, currently used.
being used.
In the time of use. Yes, so this was a very exciting show, a great variety show in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think overall, any overall thoughts to close out for the show?
Well, yeah, I like you said, I enjoyed the show as a variety show. I really enjoy the idea of having Xavier Woods come out again. Maybe for next week. I think that would be a fun thing. I would also they have their trio. I kind of want him to recruit somebody. I want that to happen. Maybe it's Ryback. Maybe it isn't. Because right now they're not saying it like it's a racial thing. They're not really going that route with it. They're like, we've been pandering, we've put our time in, and we've gotten nothing for it. There's a lot of other wrestlers that could definitely hear that song and be like, yeah, I can dance to that. I'm great with metaphors, but that's what I think overall.
Any final thoughts, Gabby?
I just really enjoyed this show tonight in general. So, and you know what? I've also been able to analyze the difference from when we started, like you were saying, how it's not been as main eventy. We haven't had all the storylines and everything, and now we do. So it's kind of interesting that when I started, I was more focused on like the wrestling moves and what they were actually doing and kind of getting to know it. And now I'm getting to know like more of the back end with the wrestling. So in that sense, it's kind of a treat for me because it's something I like.
Yeah, it's building up. SummerSlam's coming. Things are getting exciting. This show's only going to get more exciting, building up to it. For AfterBuzz, where can they find you gals if they want more from you outside of AfterBuzz? Gabby.
So you guys can find me on Instagram at Gabby, GABBYLO87, or Twitter, Gabrielle_Loren. That's 2 E's and 2 L's.
Markeia, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Markeia McCarty. That's MarkeiaMccarty. I'm also on Instagram. I very rarely use that one, though. Also, you can see me on SmackDown this week. And then also, if you're interested in Sailor Moon Crystal, I do that the first and third Sundays of every month.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and SoundCloud. Last week we had the guest Booker T, who you all probably know who that is. That was a really fun interview. And this week I had the joy of being on the Wrestling Compadre Slamcast, available on iTunes and Nerdist. And there's a very special interview done by the host there with CM Punk. It's an awesome conversation about all things nerd. It's a real treat, so I hope you guys check that out. And for AfterBuzz this week, we hope Tom will be back next week, and we'll have the full crew and some more main event, and enjoy. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
From executive producers Markeia McCarty, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.